Hi everybody, it's Amanda from Mom of Ambition. Today I'm answering some questions that come from my counseling practice. I do online counseling for mothers using Skype and email therapy, and sometimes there are some questions that come out that are more prevalently asked than others, and so I like to either write a little guide for you or like this one to answer those questions just so that my reach as a mental health professional can be more widespread and I get to help more mamas that way. So I have a few questions today. The first question is, how will I manage parenting and my job when I return to work? I know a lot of mothers returning to work when their babies are young, and unfortunately in America we're not really granted any paid maternity leave. So it means it's pretty much inevitable that we will have to return to work for a great deal of us, myself included. So one of my suggestions with mothers who are returning to work is to try exploring a sort of slow transition back to the workforce. If you can afford it, if your workplace is willing to consider it, you could try either part-time to start or even working from home some hours, just so that you do have an easier transition back to the office from your life at home as a new mother. Also, really having honest, open conversation with your supervisor is going to help you tremendously. If your boss understands that you're working as hard as you can to make this transition smooth for both you and your baby and your workplace, they'll be more appreciative of what you are doing and more understanding when you do have issues or when you do make a mistake or when you are late or you have to leave early or you're just overly emotional for whatever reason. So those are my tips for balance when you get back into The next question is, how can I get my husband to help more with the baby because I'm burnt out? The first thing I have to say about this is if you're telling me you're burnt out, it means you haven't told your husband that you're burnt out. So explain to your husband that you're having trouble and that you need more help. Everyone's threshold is different. Every new mother goes through a ton of help, and that's all totally normal. But your husband isn't going to know that you need help unless you explain to him that you need help. Unfortunately for most men, the whole caretaking and even housework just isn't something that is on their radar. They're not really taught to be aware of the things that need to be done when they're growing up. So unfortunately, it falls to your shoulders that you might have to point out things as they come up. So the baby needs a bottle. Would you mind getting that for me, babe? Or, I haven't had a chance to take care of the laundry yet. I can go take a nap, right? Open, honest communication from as early as possible is going to help you feel more supported by your spouse. So that's where I say to start. If your husband is not helping enough and is refusing to give you the support that you need, it's kind of Jesus talk with him for real. Because you feeling burnt out and overworked and taken advantage of is not going to make you a happy mother, nor is it going to make you a happy wife. So a serious conversation would be warranted if your husband, knowing your needs, is then refusing to meet them. The next question is about baby milestones. The question is, my baby doesn't reach his milestones as quickly as other infants do. Should I be worried? Yes and no. I'm going to say no to start because every baby is different. I'll give you my own 2 children as an example. So Emma is my oldest, and she, in terms of hitting her milestones, either slightly early or right on time with everything from rolling over to sitting up to crawling to walking to talking to climbing out of her crib. It all happened just as the book said it would. For my youngest, Annabelle, she didn't roll over till she was 9 months old. And you know what else happened when she was 9 months old? She started talking. And the kid was saying 3-word sentences before she turned 1. Her crawling was delayed, and then her walking was delayed as well. But she's 2 now, and she's proficient in all areas. So if we're talking about a 2 to 3 to 4 month delay in a milestone, it's probably nothing to worry about. If it's more significant than that, then definitely have a conversation with a pediatrician. And if you're ever worried about your baby being late with anything, talk to your kid's doctor about it, because if necessary, they can recommend evaluations to determine if there's actually a delay or if it's when those things develop. How do I know my baby is getting adequate nutrition? This is another thing to talk to your doctor about. So if you're concerned that you've side or not gaining weight rapidly enough or not having those wet and dirty diapers that the baby is supposed to be having, then talk to your doctor. Talk to your child's doctor about that right away. Pediatricians are used to getting phone calls at all hours about these sorts of things from new parents that are worried. And honestly, if it will make you feel better to talk to a professional about how your baby is doing, then make that phone call and talk to your doctor, because you need to put your mind at ease before anything else. The last question today is, I have reduced time and energy for personal pursuits as a single parent. How can I maintain the balance between motherhood and my individual hat, sometimes completely, for a period of time while you need to be focused on your And again, especially as a single parent, you make an even larger sacrifice than those of us with a spouse. So I really recommend not giving up those things entirely and finding time either during nap time or your lunch break at work, or even on your drive to and from work. Let's say you like reading, you could listen to a book on tape. Use those little periods of time that you have. Take full advantage of those little periods of time during the course of the day or after your child goes to bed at night to really do the things that you love, even if it's just painting your nails with the 1-minute quick dry nail polish. I mean, you have to still nurture you. It is really hard, especially for baby's first year. It's really hard to find time. And a special thought for pretty much all of these, every mother needs help. So whether you're single and you're leaning on your mother or your grandmother or even your next door neighbor, and you need more support from your spouse, you need to ask for help. We can't assume that people can just read our minds and know that we're struggling and that we need a hand and that we need some time off from being, the mom. So ask people for help. And when you are feeling lonely and alone, and as though the challenges of motherhood are really getting to you and no one understands, look for a blog or a forum, or chat even online with other moms that you can really commiserate with. I love Scary Mommy for that, because there are women there that are brutally honest, for the most part it's anonymous, in their forum area. Or you can always visit my blog as well, that's motherofambition.com, where I give you my own personal experiences, and I am really intimate with the details that I share, because I think it's important for mothers to feel as though they're not alone with the struggles that we all go through. So thank you, ladies, so much for watching today, and feel free to leave a comment below if you have any more questions that you want to see in a future video or one of my books. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon. Bye. Well, I couldn't understand, captivate them by the way.